Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 26th of April 2020 and welcome to video number 121. Today we're going to try to define what does it really mean to be satisfied as a man. What does really manhood mean? And to get there, I just went to Google and Googled the definition of word manhood. And this is what I got. This is a noun, and it is the state or period of being a man rather than a child. And it says boys in the process of growing to manhood. And what is interesting is it says that it's similar to maturity or adulthood. You see, the whole, I don't know if I can say the problem, but the definition of this word in general means the guy who basically becomes a man. This is manhood, being, in the group of other men who are adult. But how many of you know, or maybe you are one of them, how many of you know a guy who is like 30 or 40, but he completely acts like a child? And there's a question, if this guy is really a man, and is this guy really satisfied where he is? Because you see, this is the whole deal with this definition. It's like we grow up, but you may not grow up intellectually, mentally, emotionally. So the whole idea is to do this thing both on every aspect of your life, because only then you'll be able to be satisfied and be happy with where you are as a man and what you've accomplished. And we all have this strive to do something with our lives. Like, you might be this mediocre guy, but most of us, at least this intelligent part of us, we all feel that you want to do something with yourself. And even if you don't have high IQ, you go towards sports, you go towards, different things that kind of help you achieve something more. And it's fascinating that all of us, no matter, how so-called intelligent you are, we all feel this strive to be better. And then there's a question, why or who is really the beneficiary of us trying to be better? And you may say, well, I do it for myself. But do you? Ask yourself a question, because if you're saying that you're doing it for yourself, would you do this if you'd be alone? There's be no one else on this planet. Will you still try to be better at what you do, try to be better physically, better intellectually, and so on and so on? And even if you would, you'd probably do it because you were bored. But whether you think that you do it for yourself, whether you don't agree with this, you've got to understand that we will only feel satisfied with where we are if we will be able to share with someone else. Because you can be the most intelligent guy on the planet, but if there's no one who will kind of benefit and feel, help or feel satisfied with being with you and sharing your knowledge and intelligence, it's meaningless. So that is why, if we are saying that we are only be able to be satisfied and fulfilled as men, if we are able to amp ourselves up and then share with someone else, it basically brings us to the kind of conclusion that it's kind of obvious for all of us, that you just got to do your homework and change yourself, so you'll be able to use it for someone else. So let's try to look what are the major things that we have to work on, because if we look close enough, all our life will be basically achieving a higher level on these things that we're going to talk about. And it's all going to be kind of attached to the more you do the work, the higher you're able to go, the higher you're able to use this in the social environment, the higher will be your feeling of your being satisfied or fulfilled. So first of all, like the basics of everything is you have to know who you are. It's just must have. You've got to learn what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the things that you're really failing at, or trying to fix at least some of them. What are the things that you're really good at, and what do you have to do to be even better at it, to be able to use it to help someone else? And it's interesting because the process of you kind of building this self-awareness and then self-esteem based on that. It's basically you proving to yourself that no matter how often I do this particular thing, I'm always great at it. Then you kind of persuade yourself that, every time I do it, I gather the examples that every time I do something, I'm really good at it. And then it builds not only self-awareness, but then it builds self-esteem. And then you get to the point that you're saying, okay, I'm great at this. I will always be able to do this well, so I can help someone with this. And then if I'm failing at something else, let me try to fix it. That's your self-awareness and then self-esteem based on that. But then, point number 2. Why would you want to know who you are and work on yourself and then push yourself to achieve something more and then fix some issues of yours if you're not able to share with someone else? And that's this whole social environment comes into play. So if you know who you are, you've got your self-awareness, self-esteem, you've got to kind of market it somehow to the people to people that you're with. And then you'll have to learn how to communicate. And this is kind of fascinating because you can be a really intelligent person, but you can lack the ability to communicate, and you won't be able to kind of market yourself. All those things that you work in your life will be meaningless because you don't know how to share it and to kind of use it for benefit of someone else. So you have to learn how to talk to people, how to talk to the girl that you want to be with, how to be a good friend, how to talk to your family, and then how to be able to communicate when positive things happen, like how to say something nice to the girl, say something good to your friend, and be helpful and be friendly, and then how to be able to communicate when something goes wrong, when someone attacks you, when someone is doing something against you, or you start to argue. What do you do then? And that's how we play this whole social game with our own awareness of ourselves and self-esteem, and then packaged in our ability or inability to communicate, and then you build relationships. And then point number 3, you kind of take those two and then practice it in a live environment. You basically put it in some form of long-term relationship. Because let's say it straight, if you get married and then in a few months you just say, yeah, I don't want to play this game anymore, it just proves who you are. Then when you take this whole thing, put it in the form of relationship, then it shows really quickly how manly you really are, because then it shows how much honor you have, how much you're trustworthy, and how much you're this sleazy person who basically is basically obsessed with yourself. This whole thing starts to make sense, and it's like playing open card game, because it's so easy to see who you really are. And then you've got to understand that the relationship is like the best test of your personality and who you are as a person, at least from my point of view. And then it's all about trying to build it like a business, because no person with at least this much of intelligence is starting a business and then 5 months later says, I don't want to play this game anymore. No, when you build a business, it's like start small and then it gets better and better and bigger, and it gets better and better just because you learn how to deal with this. The same thing with the relationship. You start small, you've got to learn a lot of things, but then you get better and better. And so that's why I'm saying that, so you know that the whole idea is to withstand learning curve, and you'll get there. And that's why I'm sharing and I'm building this whole project, because I was able, or I am able, to be in a relationship, and it's over. We started 19th year of our marriage. We're extremely happy, and this is what I thought, that we've got like over 50 or 60 years of self-development being on a planet, and we're still having issues with this. There's we can split atom, we can do genetic editing of our DNA or genes, but we're having issues with who was supposed to be as a man and how to be happy. It's like absurd. We supposedly put the man on the moon, and we still don't know how to build happy relationship and take care of our kids. You see, the problem is that no one teaches us that. So that's why I thought that it's good to understand what is really the goal. Be happy, satisfied man. What does it mean in practice? Learn about yourself, get some self-esteem, get your self-awareness, get some self-esteem, learn how to communicate, and then bring it to the relationship and make it work. And the whole idea is to share it. If I have something, if I have learned something, I want to share with you and help you with this. And that's why this whole thing exists. That's why I want to be like this one guy who is able to help you with one of the things that there's there on the way. Because listen, this is what I want you to take from this video. There is no satisfaction in being a man if you're not able to prove it in real life, like in a relationship. That's why you need to learn about these three things: self-esteem, self-awareness, self-esteem, communication, and building a relationship. And this is what I want you to think about today. And this is what I want you to do. Ask yourself a question. Where do you struggle? Which section of it you're having some issues? You're not really sure about something there. So this is what I want you to do. Ask me a question. If I'll be able to help, I'll record the video, I'll help you with this. If I won't, I'll try to point you to the right direction. Because as no one taught me many of those things, and I was able to learn on the fly, let me help you use the shortcut and just tell you what you need to look for and concentrate on. And I'll try to do it. Because you can be happy. You can be satisfied as a man. Let me help you with this. So, if you like this video or didn't, comment and like and subscribe, all of this junk, and basically see you tomorrow.